Buggy the Bombastic Clown putting bounties on Marines. What does this mean? Why are we here? What's going on? What's going on over there on the Grand Line? What are these people doing? First things first, I was able to discover a way to improve the video quality just a little bit. You're able to see more of these posters yonder, which is nice. And it's just kind of better quality. It doesn't look like I'm filming on a potato as much anymore, which is great. But that is not why we're here. We're here to talk about Buggy's Cross Guild. Now, what bugs me is that it's being called Buggy's Cross Guild, when in actuality, it's just the Cross Guild, but Buggy is kind of at the helm. Was this his idea? Yes. But he is a man of circumstance. He is someone that always kind of seems to be in the right place at the right time. How this happened, I'm not entirely sure. He probably was able to escape or defeat the Marines that went after him, and then for whatever reason, he met up with Crocodile and Mihawk. Now, what I find interesting about this is I think this is more of Crocodile's MO than anybody else in this guild, and here's the reason why. He was not a warlord at the time when they were going to be hunted. They could have sent Marines after Crocodile anyway, and I wouldn't be surprised, but we've seen in multiple starts to chapters telling a story of Crocodile, of him in the New World, kind of getting men. He seems to be working in the underworld of One Piece, just trying to gather all these people and learn all this information that's probably very important for this Cross Guild in general. So I think he has one hell of a force backing him along with Das Bones. We have Mihawk there as well. And Mihawk's kind of the biggest question mark, but we'll get to him in a second. Buggy still probably has his ginormous force. It's probably gotten bigger, considering he's now merged with Crocodile, which I think those two forces are crews and a group to very much be reckoned with. I don't think they're necessarily going to have like crazy huge names. Sure, I wouldn't be surprised if Weevil is on their team. Maybe another warlord, maybe some like old people that we haven't seen in a little bit. It's possible, but I don't think that's the big point here. I think that Crocodile's MO a lot of the time is him trying to get back at the Navy, at the Marines. So I think that Buggy kind of figured out, you know what? Why don't we do what they're doing and put bounties on them? And I think that's something with Mihawk that interested him a lot. He talked about, and it was in the anime and it was in the manga as well, about how it's been a while since he's been the one that's been hunted. And I think that he got away scot-free. I don't care if they sent an admiral after him. I really don't. I think he was fine. I think he got through that and was good. Now, there is a situation here where you could argue that Mihawk was kind of struggling and needed to team up with somebody, but that would ruin a lot of what this guy right here is about. And I would not like to see that at all, because I think Mihawk, him and Shanks are people who we see very little of, whose stalks of power just continue to grow just because of what the characters and what the world is doing around them. So Mihawk, does he have a force? No. That man is a lone wolf, plain and simple. But he is a huge name, and to have him alongside Buggy the Clown, I think Buggy understood how important that was. But you have to understand that Mihawk is definitely using Buggy / Crocodile to get what he wants. Now, what does Mihawk want out of this Cross Guild? By far the most interesting person here. I'm very happy Crocodile's back, and I think this is a great way to do it. There's a lot of theories behind Crocodile. Is he Luffy's mom? Maybe. But I'm happy Crocodile's back, and I think this is a great way to introduce him. Oda himself said that he introduced Crocodile to the story too soon. For him to be defeated the way that he was, it kind of ruins how you power scale him, because he's still very strong. And if you saw him at Marineford, kind of going after Whitebeard, debatably trying to team up with the likes of Doflamingo, going up against Akainu. Now, he wasn't going to win. I don't think either was going to win either one of those fights. But just being a part of this strong group now, with his underworld connections and all the people that he's brought with him, it makes sense. It makes sense that he would team up with Buggy the Clown and putting Buggy's head at the top as, hey, hunt this guy, because I don't think Crocodile is about getting hunted anymore. I think he's about going after Marines and doing it very systematically, but he doesn't want to be the front man anymore. He kind of wants to do his own thing on the side and be like, focus on that guy. Focus on him. That and Buggy, even though he's taken some L's, he's only been just collecting W's as time goes on. But back to the most interesting, like I said, Mihawk. So there's the theory that it's possible that he needed Buggy and Crocodile's forces to help him get to where he wants to be. I don't think that's the case. I think that he's trying to be the hunter once again. I think that's going to connect very good back. Zoro is pissed. Zoro is pissed once he hears about the Cross Guild and that Mihawk's joining them, because he's like, that doesn't sound like Mihawk. Like, it just doesn't sound like him. And he's absolutely right. It does not sound like him. So what is he trying to gain from this? And this is the question that's pretty tough to answer. Is he just trying to hunt these people for monetary gain? I don't think so. He doesn't seem somebody that's driven by money. It doesn't seem like money is going to help him achieve his goals anyway. I think he's looking at the standing piece. And what I mean by this is, if he's backed by one of the 4 Yonko, which Buggy now is, he's going to be able to get to a place where he's going to be able to battle some very, very tough people, which is, I think, what he wants at this point. I think he's a very knowledgeable person, but he's also a sportsman in the sense that, hey, I want to fight these strong people, and sure, there's going to be money on them, and there's bounties on them, but that's fun for him. It's like a sport for him. He's hunting these people. I want to see what they do with this and see where Mihawk goes and who he decides to hunt and what he wants to do. But we have to think that he's a lone wolf. I don't think anybody's working by his side. He could have maybe brought Perona along, but no. I think she left. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'm pretty sure she left. So Mihawk is going to be fighting some dudes. I would love to see him go and just straight up fight an admiral. I don't even know how it would go. Like I said, his stock continues to rise. Bear with me. Bear with me. You can disagree, and that's fine. Zoro beats King. Can Zoro beat Mihawk at this point? No, right? I don't think anyone argues that. So if Zoro can't beat Mihawk, but he can beat a first commander, and if I told you before that if Yonko's here and an admiral is between, closer to Yonko than a first admiral, but still in between, Mihawk literally has to be at least admiral level. At least admiral level, because Zoro can't beat him at this point, and I think that's going to be Zoro's last fight. So where does that put Mihawk, and why is he teaming up with somebody who's way weaker than him? Everybody in that entire guild is much weaker than Mihawk, so why is he doing it? I think it's supposed to be shrouded in mystery a little bit, but I think he's just trying to get to a point where he's able to see what the world's about. I think once he started to be hunted, and once he's starting to put it together that, hey, if the Marines don't need us anymore, then that means that they could turn on all of us at any point. And I think even he understands that he wouldn't be able to handle the entire military force of the Marines. So is it partial protection? Sure. But I think he's more of a sportsman, and he's trying to see who he can hunt with the biggest bounty, because he's finally in a position to do that. I'm very excited to see where this Cross Guild goes. I want to get a little bit of some chapters from them just to kind of see what they're doing and what they're about. That might happen soon. I'm not sure. Definitely not the next couple chapters. I think they're going to be traveling. We're still in between though, so it would kind of have to be soon. But they're leaving to another island where we can assume Elbaf. We're not sure, but we can assume it. It's been heavily implied that that's kind of where they're going. But the Cross Guild, where are they? How spread out are they? And like, who are they going to be hunting? Are they just after Marines? It seems that way, but who's to say that they wouldn't be hunting fellow Yonko and trying to grow their status in that way? I don't know what the Bombastic Clown is up to, but I'm intrigued and I'm interested. I don't think he's giving orders to Crocodile or to Mihawk. I think they're just like, hey, we want you to be the head of this thing so that everybody looks at you and they're like, we want to go get that guy. We're going to be doing our own thing. We're going to be hunting our own people. We're going to be doing our own stuff in terms of whatever the goal might be. One Piece, ancient weapons, fighting Marines, trying to be like the strongest group that they can possibly be. But they're like, attack Buggy. We don't want anything to do with Buggy. But he was able to get them on board with this beautiful entrepreneurial genius idea of putting bounties on Marines. I'm interested to see some of these bounties as well. I think that the Cross Guild opens so much of the world up, and I think it's a great direction for the final saga, just because it's going to involve a lot of important characters, and we're kind of all going to come to this culmination of the final war, and that's just going to be a part of it. What happens to the Cross Guild? How many Marines do they get down in the meantime? And what do the Marines have to say about themselves being hunted? And I think Akainu puts it the best by saying, we're firing everywhere. We are attacking on all fronts. So the Marines are not messing around. The Cross Guild's doing their best to defend themselves and hunt Marines themselves. And Mihawk is not fucking playing around. So I'm interested to see what it is, but the Cross Guild is one of the most exciting announcements that we've seen in some time in One Piece. And I hope that we get to see a crazy fight between Mihawk and somebody, maybe throw Crocodile in there, but I think just having Mihawk fight as somebody that we haven't seen in a while, actually do combat with somebody, will kind of silence the haters of people who don't really believe how strong he truly is, which I'm telling you, he's got to be at least Admiral level. Then we'll see. We'll see. You can disagree. You can be pissed. That's fine. I'm happy. There was a little bit of like some weird digitized things during this video. I need to figure that out, but appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next week with another video. Chapters next week. We had a break this week. It's a little tough, but hey, we'll make it through. All right, babes. Peace out. Where's the button?